وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على محمد الأمين إمام المرسلين خاتم النبيين وسيد ولد آدم أجمعين، وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين والتابعين إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: كل نفس ذائقة الموت ثم إلينا ترجعون. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: أكثروا ذكر هذه من اللذات، أو كما قال رسول الله. ونسأل الله أن يجعلنا من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Alhamdulillah, we thank and we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us with this day, allowing us to converge once again on the best day of all the days in the week. And we thank and we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for providing us life from the moment we were born to this exact second when we are still breathing. Each and every single microsecond in between is sheer blessings and privilege that we gain from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we praise and we thank and we show our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We pray for peace and salutations upon the best man to ever walk the surface of this earth, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his family, his companions, and those who follow him upon the righteous path until the day of Deen. Ameen. If I am to ask you, what is the most important day in your life? Some of us will think of the day we were born. Some of us will think of the day they finally made it to the United States. The day they finally got their citizenship. The day that the child was born. The day that they got the greatest promotion at their job that they have ever gotten. The day that you believe you were really successful in this life. When we think of important days, these are the days we think of. But there is one day that is coming that is important than all of these days. There is a day that is getting closer and closer to us. Yet we are not fully aware. And that is the day of judgment. My brothers and sisters, the day of judgment is very, very close. This day will come. A mother who carried a child for 9 months, nursed this child, breastfed this child, took care of this child, lost sleep over this child, sacrificed so much just to have this child. My brothers and sisters, on this day, she will drop this child and run, trying to find a safe place for herself. That is how severe the day of judgment is. And the question of the day, the topic is, are you ready? What are we doing right now to prepare for this day? يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبي وصاحبته وبنيه. On this day, a man will run away from his wife. A brother will run away from his own family. The children will push their parents away. Let me go. I need to save myself. Humans will be in a drunken state, as if they are drunk. But it is not alcohol that inflicts the mind, but rather the severity. How severe the day of judgment will be. And this is a day that is way more near than we think. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said, because he used to pray, subhanAllah, despite being granted a one-way ticket to Jannah, he would always pray. He would always remember Allah. Everything he did, he made sure it was according to how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted it. Which is why they call him the walking example of the Quran. Nobody used to pray tahajjud more than he did. But he was granted Jannah already. All his sins was forgiven already. And he told the Sahaba, how can I relax? How can you expect me to relax? When the angel who is in charge of holding the trumpet, the horn that will be blown to signify that the day of judgment has begun, he has this horn to his mouth like this. It is close to his mouth. He is just looking at Allah, waiting for Allah to give him the signal for him to blow the horn. That is how close the day of judgment is. During the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 1,400 years ago, the Prophet Muhammad was worried that the day of judgment is close. What about those of us today? But then if we are going to be honest with ourselves, the way we move, the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we interact with one another, does it reflect someone who thinks that the day of judgment is around the corner? My brothers and sisters, what are we doing? On that day, the earth will be crumbled to pieces. Buildings will fall. The buildings that we look up when we go to Times Square, our neck hurts out of how many times we just looking up, staring at how tall these buildings are. Subhanallah. How can human beings, reach this technological advancement where they can build this and that? On that day, everything will be destroyed. All the things we hold to be so precious, gone in an instant. The mountains will crumble. And everything will perish except for what Allah wills to stay behind. After the first blow of destruction, we will have Israfil, Mikael, Jibril, the angel of death, and the angels that hold the throne of Allah. They will remain behind. Allah will order the angel of death to take the soul of Israfil. Allah will order the angel of death to take the soul of Jibril. Allah will order the angel of death to take the soul of Mikael. And Allah will order the angel of death to take the soul of the angels who hold the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah will ask the angel of death, who is left? The angel of death will say, it is me, Ya Allah, and you who is forever living and never dies. Then Allah will tell the angel of death to take his own soul. And let's pay attention. The angel of death will go to a land, a place between heaven and earth, and he will take his own soul. And the angel of death will make a sound that is so horrifying that in the hadith it says, if human beings were to be alive, they would die a second time out of how horrifying the sound is. The angel of death will say, had I known that death was this painful, I would have gone easy on the human beings. Even the angel of death will be gone. My brothers and sisters, who are you to even feel arrogant? Because subhanAllah, let's be honest. Sometimes we see some Muslims. It baffles your mind. Someone who believes in the Day of Judgment. How can you be so arrogant? How can you see yourself to be better than someone else? In a masjid, I heard an argument. How dare you step on me? Do you know where I work? Do you know how much money I make in 1 year in the masjid? Adults. People that the youth are supposed to be looking up to. How dare, do you know the car that I drive? How dare you? Because we hold this material world so tight, when in the blink of an eye, it can be gone. To the point where even the angel of death, the one who is going around taking people's soul, he himself will be afraid of that moment when his soul will be taken away. My brothers and sisters, what are we doing to prepare for the Day of Judgment? Allah will ask, who is left? Allah will ask, who remains? No one will answer. Who is left? Silence. Allah will grab the earth and scroll it up like a piece of paper. This earth that when you fall and you scrape your knee or you sprain your ankle, you have to go to the hospital, Allah will fold it up like a piece of paper. Just so we can kind of get an idea, an image of just how mighty, how powerful, how grand Allah is. Because as Muslims living in the 21st century, people who are used to looking at phone devices, everything we want, we used to having a picture of it. Before, we used to be able, before doing math in the head was expected. What's 20% of, if you're making this much a month, people used to stand there, well, if you take away, the math was done here. Now everything is visual. You have to pull out a calculator. We have to punch the numbers in. So when we describe these examples, It doesn't register unless we are fed an image to really understand how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And that itself is another topic. Wallahi, I'm taking a science class in college right now, anatomy and physiology, and we were studying how the cell reproduces DNA step by step just to create different versions of different cells which comes together and gives us life without our own knowledge. I swear, when the professor put the diagram on the board, it looked as if I was looking at a diagram of how a factory produces cars. You see something that looks like an arm, taking one part of the protein and attaching it to another part of the protein, then it moves on and the cell pushes it out of the nucleus, the ribosomes pick it up, transport it, a whole system. For the professor to help us understand, he even described it like how the post service are delivering packages. They pack the packages here, and there's a system on how it is distributed throughout the whole body. My brothers and sisters, we are sitting here right now, we have no idea. And the one who made this possible says, worship me and obey me. And yet we still struggling, subhanAllah. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy on us. May Allah Ta'ala forgive us for the things that we do not know. It's treacherous and disgusting in the sight of Allah. My brothers and sisters, this day is coming close. Allah will ask, who remains? Where are the kings who used to sit on the high thrones and look down on everybody else? Who had so much money they could not fathom anything bad happening to them? Where are the arrogant people who thought that they were better than everybody else? Where are they? The people who had all the technology, who thought that they would never die and they could preserve their body or escape to another planet, where are they? Silence. Nothing will move. Nothing will speak. Nothing will be able to even exist. It's just Allah. As a reminder to us that this is the same Allah that we are playing with. When we are told what is expected of us as Muslims, and we are dodging between our responsibilities, we think that we are fooling someone. Again, please, you have to visualize. You have to see this as if it's in front of you. The day of judgment is not a joke. Your whole life in front of you. The same way you look at this wall and see this clock, you will see your life in front of you. So when they are accusing you and bringing your case forward, you cannot say, Your Honor, you do not have sufficient evidence to accuse me of this. No, it's in front of you. There will be some people on the day of judgment, when the book of their deeds is being handed to them, they're going to hide their hand behind their back. They don't want to receive it because they themselves know what is coming to them. My brothers and sisters, Allah loves every single one of us sitting here right now. And do you know how I know how? Because you are still breathing. And the fact that you are breathing at this moment is another chance for you to say Astaghfirullah. Every single breath you take is Allah giving you another chance to say Astaghfirullah. From the time you were born to this moment, Allah has blessed you with life. When we do, when we commit fawahish, when we sin, it's not as if there's a time schedule when Allah is not paying attention to us. No. During the time you was putting your hands where it was not supposed to go, and you took that money that did not belong to you, when you was checking, you looked left and right to make sure nobody was looking. Allah was looking. And Allah watched you do that crime, that sin. Yet Allah continued to let you breathe. Continue to give you life. If Allah wanted, in the middle of that act, He takes your soul. But no, he gave you a second chance. You walked away. You went home. You contemplated on what you did. That is a chance to repent and say astaghfirullah. I know I've described some scenes that makes it seem like, subhanAllah, what's going to happen to me. But my brothers and sisters, Islam makes it so easy to come back to Allah. And the beautiful thing I love about Islam is that Islam is not asking you to be perfect. Islam is just asking you to try your best. That is all Allah is asking from you. To try your best. And you can tell me right now, yeah, I try every day. You say it, but is your heart really reflecting that? Does your actions really show that you are trying? Because my brothers and sisters, there are so many situations that will be presented to us on the day of judgment. And that will be the day all of us will bite our fingers and say, had I known, I would have not skipped that Friday prayer. Had I known, I would have fasted that extra day. Had I known, I would have prayed this. And we know that this would be the situation. Why not start now? Because on the day of judgment, on this day, there will be no excuses. No excuses. Oh Allah, you see, my schedule, the way the time works. No excuses. I gave you life. What did you do with this life? You had free time. What did you do with this free time? ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. Allah will ask us about the favors He has granted us. My brothers and sisters, do you know what is part of the favors Allah has granted you? For those of us who have children, your family, your children are part of these favors. I blessed you with children. How did you raise them? How much time did you give them? Why did you allow them to grow up and become like this? Oh Allah, you see, because the time I get off from work is there will be no excuse whatsoever. Are we going to wait until this moment when it is too late? Or are we going to change now? My brothers and sisters, when we think of change, don't think of changing, you know what, yeah, Imam, you're right. Next week, I'm going to, no. From this exact second that you heard this message, you begin to change. You change the way you think. You change your plans. Again, it is not too difficult. If you wake up in the morning after Fajr and you pray Fajr, after Fajr, if you say, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd, wa huwa ala kulli shayin qadir. If you say this phrase 100 times in the morning, 100 times, you will be given the rewards of hiring free slaves. I believe it's 10 or 100 slaves. You will be given the rewards. You will be given 100 hasanat, and you will be forgiven 100 sins. And Allah will protect you from shaitan until the sun sets. Just saying, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shayin qadir 100 times. I calculated it, it takes about 2 minutes, 30 seconds, or 3 minutes tops to do this. And that's if you say it at a slow pace. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shayin qadir. At this pace, within 2 minutes, 30 seconds, done. How many 2 minutes, 30 seconds have we wasted in the past? My brothers and sisters, let us try. Let us change. Let us start to make little differences in our lives before the time is too late. Let us try and devote our value into the Muslim youth. One thing I realize is that we don't value the Muslim youth. We value our cars. If it's broken, you're gonna fix it. The Muslim youth are broken. Who are we waiting to come and fix it? As I say every month I come here, I work with Muslim youth every weekend. And the age, the concept of all this, girlfriend, boyfriend thing happening in school, the age of that is coming down. We used to think maybe when they hit 16, 17, 18, that's when he's gonna start getting into that girlfriend, boyfriend stuff. No, the age of that is down now. We have 10-year-olds, 11, 12 years old, wallahi, in relationships, in school. And alhamdulillah, I've presented myself to the youth in a way where they feel comfortable to talk to me about whatever. I won't judge you, just tell me how you feel. I have 11-year-old kids, 11-year-old boys and girls coming to me saying, this boy does not like me, I am sad. This girl does not like me back, I am sad. 11-year-old kids. 12-year-old boys. And please don't think that, my children, we read Quran and we pray. My children, no, astaghfirullah, my children will never. You will be surprised. I don't mention names, but some of these children are the daughters and the sons of some of the most respected people in our neighborhoods and our communities. Because when they step outside of these doors, in America, it is not like back home when the whole community is policing everybody else's children. No. Once they step outside your building, once they step outside your door, they are by themselves. And it is a whole nother life they have to go and live when they step outside, when they go to school. And we can't blame them. The same kid, I asked him, from this Saturday to the last Saturday, the past 7 days, how many times did your eye look at the safha of a Quran, at the page of a Quran? Not even read it, but you just looked at the Quran. He said, Ustaz, to be honest, since last week we came here to read Quran, I did not see any or touch any Quran until we came back to the masjid this Saturday. Okay. Now how many advertisements of women dressed inappropriately have you seen in the past 7 days? He says every day, every time he sees something that he's not supposed to see. This is what they are receiving into their minds. And when they come home, some of us are not available to talk to them. I've mentioned this so many times. It is so effective. Start to eat your dinner with your children. Share the same plate. First of all, the fact that my father trusts me to put my hand in the same food he's put in his hand, that means my father must love me. That already starts to build a connection. My son, how are you doing? How is classes? How is the masjid? How have you been feeling? Let's start to reach out to them and see how they're really feeling. Wallahi, a lot of the Muslim youth go home and they put a smile on their face, but what is going inside the heart is darker than anything you have ever seen. Again, I get a lot of these young people, they come to me, you're the only person I know I can talk to, and the stuff I am hearing from 12, 13, 14-year-olds, it should not be happening. And then again, what makes all of this scary is that on the day of judgment, Allah will question you about this. Let us start to pay more attention to the Muslim youth. Let us start to give them more time. Let us start to devote our time towards being the Muslim that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be. When we pray, let us pay full attention. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for us. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and continue to bless the Muslim youth. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us capable of providing the Muslim youth with what they need. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives us for what we have done. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Alhamdulillah, 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 Al-Qa'il, Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut thumma ilayna turja'un. Alhamdulillah, today we spoke about how the day of judgment is closer than we think. And if the day of judgment is close, then death is even nearer. If the day of judgment is 1 block away, the day of judgment, the death is right around the corner. And all of these things, every day, every second, it's getting closer and closer and closer. So the question I pose today is, my brothers and sisters, what are we doing to prepare for this day? Do our actions reflect the actions of a people who know that the day of judgment will come? Each and every single one of us, we know ourselves and our weaknesses. Start to work on it little by little. Like I said before, Allah does not want to see you become perfect, because you cannot become perfect. But Allah wants to see you try your best. No one will enter Jannah through their actions. Only through the mercy of Allah will you enter Jannah. And when the Prophet Muhammad said this, the Sahaba asked him, even you, Ya Rasulullah? Rasulullah said, yes, even me. Then you may question, then what's the point? If all my salah, that's not what's going to get me into Jannah, then what's the point? And then I will respond with this question. If 2 people were asking you for something, the first person was asking you, they're not even facing you, they put their hands in their pockets. Yeah, so if like you feel like it, you can give it to me. I don't know, maybe. The second person, on their knees, paying full attention, crying, begging you. Out of these 2 people, who would you rather give the thing to? The second person, who is crying and begging and giving you full attention. So when it comes to the mercy of Allah, who do you think will receive the mercy of Allah? The one who was told to pray, and then even during prayer he was not paying full attention? Or the one who is praying, waking up to pray in the middle of the night, crying and begging for Jannah, begging for the mercy of Allah? So it is your actions that will save you. And this is the last thing I will say. This is to address, because, you know, as Islam moves on, well, not Islam, as civilization moves on, and we keep carrying Islam and we're passing it down, there is something happening within our communities where people think they can change the philosophy of Islam. They can change how Islam works to fit their desires. So you encounter Muslims, when you give them advice, they say, you do not know my heart. You don't know my heart, you can't judge me. No, you can't. Fine. In the grave, when Munkar and Nakir are standing over you and ask you, Man Rabbuk, Man Nabiyuk, Ma Dinuk, who was your Lord? Who was your prophet? What was your way of life? My brothers and sisters, it is not your feelings that will answer these questions. If you did not live your life according to Islam, wallahi, you will not be able to answer these questions. And if you don't answer these questions, you and I are aware of the punishment of the grave. May Allah save us from the punishment of the grave. So it's not about feelings. It's not about, oh, you know, Allah knows my heart. Allah knows your heart, but did you pray Isha? Because Allah's not checking the heart, He's checking your actions. And yes, the actions come from the heart, but sometimes we start to confuse what will be valuable or accountable for on the day of judgment. So my brothers and sisters, let us begin to try. Let us start to do better. You get 10 minutes, you're waiting for the red light to turn green light, recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad. You in the elevator, recite a surah real quick. Some quick adhkar. Because the difference is, before you was not doing that at all, and now at least you're doing something. And the nature of adhkar, it brings peace to the heart. Just choose one of these days, Monday or Thursday. Recently I fasted on Monday. I felt a different energy that I haven't been feeling recently. It's just something natural about remembering Allah that improves our life. So once you start and you pray for Allah to increase you, you will only go up. But if we become lazy and we keep giving ourselves excuses and my schedule, this and that, and then we allow the youth to go rampant and we allow ourselves to do whatever we want, a day will come when we will not be able to change this, when it will be too late. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be able to change before it is too late. We got news that a sister who used to help collect the fi sabilillah in the back, she passed away not too long ago. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on her soul. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on the souls of all the people that we have lost recently. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them in the grave, and make the grave a place of comfort for them, and make the grave comfortable until the day of Deen. We ask that Allah ta'ala take care of their families and grant them patience. And those of us who are still here, may Allah allow us to learn a lesson from their deaths, so we can also prepare from the day that we will take our last breath, from the day when the angel of death will come and take your soul away. At least you can see your soul being taken away and say, Ya Allah, I am proud of what I have done because I tried my best. But you do not want your soul to be taken away, and you're begging to be returned back to earth so you can come and at least pray even one more nawafil. Because that day, my brothers and sisters, is coming, and what are we doing to prepare for this day? ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا حلالا واسعا طيبا وعملا متقبلا نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. And finally, when they say fi sabilillah, this is one of your chances to prove to Allah. We don't have to go to jihad. We don't have to go and build masajids. No, this is our method of proving to Allah that indeed we want this mercy that we spoke about. So when they say fi sabilillah, please, I say this every month and I'm going to continue to say it. We have one pocket for the dollars and the coins, and we have another pocket or another part of the wallet for the $10, the $20, and the 50s. When they say fi sabilillah, put your hands in the 10s and the 50s, my brothers and sisters. And Allah will only increase you, and you shall never decrease. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Still wa'atadun wa taras. If your cell phones are on, please turn them off or put them on silent. And please make space for the brothers coming in the back. Jazakumullah khair. Still. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. فإذا جاءت الصاخة يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قترة أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
C'est pour l'imam, mon frère. C'est pour l'imam quoi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, we like to thank Imam. May Allah increase his knowledge, inshallah. May Allah forgive our sin and accept our prayer. Don't forget your masjid, inshallah. Fi sabilillah, brothers. Just as Imam just mentioned in the khutbah, give the big bill, inshallah. We need it. Fi sabilillah, give to Allah. Allah will give you back. Allah will put barakah on your wealth. So please give to Allah. Fi sabilillah, brothers and sisters. Fi sabilillah. Also, you have a bread by the window. You have a brother Kamarais over there to help you. You have a shopping bag by the window. You take any amount you want to your kids and your family, inshallah. Bismillah, brothers. Bismillah.
Donation for the masjid, please. Bismillah, Bismillah. Bismillah, Bismillah. Donation for the masjid, please.
Mana grand pape mu ngi Sénégal wala mu ngi mooy xale bu yàlla may mu am jàngal Alxuraan wala ci jàng masala su boolee ñaar ñi rek dimbalu suñu borom quoi surtout loolu moom loolu nag yàlla li ñuy wax ni ko baax na ngeen def ñu ngi si jàpp ci wax ni dara moo koy conclure mooy